Joined now by the head coach of the Mavericks, Mike Hastings. Mike, good weekend for MSU after uh, a couple of losses against St. Cloud State. Rebound with a two-game sweep of Bowling Green here in CCHA action. Your thoughts on the weekend and your thoughts about facing St. Thomas as this weekend's opponent?
Last weekend was a good step for us. We knew Bowling Green would come in and be a hard test, and they were. I liked our resiliency. We faced some adversity throughout the weekend, and it was good to see some guys get their first goal in the year. Brendan Furry, Andrej Pavel, seeing a freshman like Seth Isley get his first goal. Having different guys contribute was really important for us, and finding a way after being swept to make progress throughout a weekend. And I thought we were better on Saturday than we were on Friday. But again, I think a lot of that was due to Bowling Green being as hard and as heavy as they always are. So fortunate to get the sweep. Now moving in again before our last series before break against a team that's playing really well right now in St. Thomas. They went into a difficult place. Ended up garnering 4 of 6 points on the road at Ferris State. Their special teams are real dialed at the moment. They're killing penalties at a good rate. Their power play, I think, on Saturday had 3 goals. So there'll be a very difficult test for us here to finish our first block of 5 series.
Thanks for that. Rob Clark from KYC. If you have a question, Rob, you can start us off.
Coach Brendan Furry, he's had some pretty big games against Bowling Green in his career with the Mavericks. For him to come through again when you guys kind of needed him most this weekend, just what does that kind of say about him, and just kind of what is it about Bowling Green that he always seems to rise to the occasion?
Well, first of all, I mean it's where he's from. He's from Ohio, and he's done a lot of, I think, growing up from the time that when he was little to when he decided to go to junior hockey, and moved on and thought he was going to potentially be done with even playing hockey. Is going to go to Bowling Green, and so he's a very prideful young man in his dailies. And when you talk about going home or playing somebody from your home state, obviously it gets a little focus and a little bit of juices going. He was really good there last year. I thought he had a good weekend, and hopefully he can continue that into this weekend.
Dan Myers has joined us via Zoom. Dan, do you have a question for Mike Hastings?
Sure, I'll ask a question. Mike, good to see you. I wanted to ask about Andrej Pavel, and he gets rewarded with the goal, but he's played really well, it seems, this season. You always hear coaches talk about how some of their positioning and how they play in the defensive end translates into chances in the offensive end. Is he kind of the definition of that, as someone who seems to always be in the right place at the right time, and was finally rewarded for that with the goal the other night?
Oh, it's good to see you, Dan. Yeah, I mean, the one thing about Andres is when you ask your athletes to control the controllables, it's diet, it's training, it's effort, it's attitude, preparation. And he's about as prepared as anybody is we're going to have on a daily basis for going out and getting better during practice and then executing through the weekend. He's a student of the game. He likes to talk hockey, likes to know when he's doing things in his mind and in the coach's mind the right way, and he's okay being coached and communicating back and forth on likes, dislikes. He just likes to push himself, and when you have those self-starters, those guys that are really good at self-evaluation, they have a tendency to grow and grow in a hurry. And so all the work that he's put in prior to getting on the rink, his dailies and what he's done training-wise, he wants to play hockey at the most elite level. He understands that elite level takes a lot. He's willing to give it, and it was great to see him finally rewarded for, as you said, being in the right place at the right time, getting to the net after we had a second and a third, and he ends up being the third and gets the goal.
Coach, for St. Thomas, first year in the CCHA, last year, just as a program, how far do you think they've really come in, just over a year now in Division I hockey?
Well, if you look at their head coach, Rico, quite a resume. He went in and helped build Miami's program and progress it to where they were competing for national championships. He understands what it is to go in and build a program, and he's doing the same thing at St. Thomas. When you look at it, you start to get a couple of recruiting cycles when you're starting to build, and they're freshmen right now. They've got a freshman center that's got 8 points in, I think it is 8 games, playing at a real good clip, surrounded by guys that have been there a year now and understand what the culture, what the expectations are. In-state kid Josh Ernisi, who played in Tri-Cities last year, has come in and established himself as a big body that can go in and take time and space away from you, and then also be a bit of a threat offensively. And you combine that with just some progression between the posts, and their special teams are good. Power play, penalty kill. They play very hard, as if you look at the history of what Rico's teams play and how they play. And I just think that they've made a big step here from year 1 to year 2, and I think that'll continue.
Mike, we're going to bring in David Cilia here in a bit after we're wrapping up our interview with you. But the plug-and-play nature of David Cilia, transferred here at the beginning of last year, and has played a really nice role for you up and down the lineup. He's a great face-off guy and special teams. What has the addition of David meant to the program here since he came to us after transferring?
Oh, he's been an integral part into us being able to have some sustained success over the last couple of weekends, and really seeing his progress from when we recruited him. You know, when he put himself in the portal, and we talked about the opportunity that he was going to be provided here if he came in shape, which he did. He came in as a third line center, did some penalty killing, and now he's a little bit of a jack of all trades for us. He's getting minutes on the power play. He's one of our first, if not our first guy out on the dot on a penalty kill. His face-off percentage is got to be one of the top in the country. And you know what? He's just somebody that I think is continuing to grow into really an all-around player. You can trust him defensively. He's starting to put up some offensive numbers. I like him to be a little bit more of a shot-first guy, but that's just the greedy side of a coach. He's been doing outstanding for us, and I look forward to him to continue to progress while he's here.
Mike, thanks so much. Good luck against the Tommies this weekend.
Thanks, Paul.